So why don't we start by just quickly going around and introducing our artists, starting with our wonderful director and artistic director of City Lights Theater Company as she looks for her mute button frantically, Ms. Lisa Mallette.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa. I use the she, her pronouns, and yep, I'm so grateful to have had the chance to direct the show. I'm sure that I'll get a chance to say more about that later, but so incredibly grateful to work with these amazing artists and this amazing material, like beautiful story and profound story and play and like such a timely piece. And yeah, I'm talking too much already. These are supposed to be introductions. Sorry. I'm Lisa. Mute yourself.
Thank you, Lisa. Mike, want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Mike Rhone. I play Bruce in Fun Home, and I don't know what else you want to know. So if you want to know something else, you can ask a question.
We'll just go around right now. That works. How about you, Jessica?
Hi, I'm Jessica. I play adult Alison, and in real life, I only wear computer glasses.
She's getting in character. Alexandra.
Yeah, hi, my name's Alexandra. I use she, her pronouns, and I play medium Alison.
So glad you're here. Hi, Alycia.
Hello, my name is Alycia. I use they, them pronouns, and I play Joan.
So glad you're here. And we have two real life siblings who also play siblings on stage. Eli and Emily, you want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Emily Asheghian, and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing John, Alison's little brother.
And I'm Christian. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing, I'm Christian, Alison's older brother. My actual name is Eli.
In character. And Emily probably has the best wig you've ever seen. So there's that. Before we jump in, I want to say that I've got a bunch of production photos from the show that the cast hasn't seen yet, so I will be popping up photos from time to time. I think to start out with, I should just show this extremely professional and very serious photo of the entire cast and crew. Everyone is having a great time. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Lisa, why don't you start us off? We have wanted to bring fun home to our stage for so long. This is, of course, based on the graphic novel by the wonderful Alison Bechdel. And anyone who's read it, I'm sure many of you have read it. And we have wanted to bring this for so long. But, you know, things happened. Tell us a little bit about why you thought this would be a good fit for City Lights and why we didn't present this show right when we wanted to.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of times the plays that we do, especially the really, really great ones, come to me suggested by artists, like actors and directors and other artists that work for the organization that understand us. And I get suggestions from people, and they're often fantastic. So this one was brought to my attention by Katie Coleman, who is an amazing musical director, musician. She was the musical director for Lizzie, if any of you saw that, that I directed, which I loved that show. I love that show too. And she saw the tour in San Francisco, and I'm not sure if she saw the original production in Circle and Square in New York or not, but she said, you have to check out this show. This is perfect for City Lights. And so I did, and I said, oh, you're right, it is, because we're always trying to just make sure that we're telling stories that have different points of view, and or not, trying to make sure that there's lots of points of view in our season, not just one, if you know what I mean, the predominant one. So she knew I would love it, and I did. I also love the theatricality of it. in the storytelling, that it's not perfectly linear. I also love that, I'm a feminist, so I really do love that, the the female perspective, and then of course, um, the fact that it was a Tony Award winning musical with the lead being queer is also fantastic and just fit everything that I loved. So I tried very hard to get the rights and I couldn't. And then Theater Works did it, and I thought, all right, now I'm in. Right, once one of the bigger theater companies in the Bay Area do it, I'm like, great, now I can get the rights, and I still couldn't get them. So that was a real disappointment for me. And then I realized, I was talking to a friend of mine, Michael Mitnick, who is we've done two of Michael's plays, although he does most of his writing for screen, film and television, Netflix and such. And he lives in New York, and he's an amazing artist, a dear friend. And he was like, why can't you get the rights? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. They're not taking us seriously. We don't have a big enough budget. We don't use enough equity contracts. They're just saying no. And he said, well, I went to grad school with Lisa Crone. And I'm like, what? You did? And he goes, yeah, I mean, it was, a long time ago, but we're still in touch. And I said, really? And there was only 12 people at Yale for playwriting in his class. And yep, thank you, Becky. So Lisa Crone wrote the book for the musical. And he said, I just don't think they know what good work City Lights does. I don't think they understand. And when he says they, really what he means is the publishing house. You have to get the permission. And so when you apply for the rights, a lot of times they'll just look at the application and they'll say, oh, well, 100 seats and not fully equity and 1.2 million budget. If they're not like Theater Works or Berkeley Rep or ACT, obviously they're not going to do a great job. That's like an assumption that is made that is often incorrect. And so he was like, let me get back to you. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Michael. So, he called her and he said, I'll put, I'm telling you, I'll put my word out there. Lisa, can you give your agent a call and have your agent call the publishing company? And they did. She did, they did, everybody did. And we got the rights. And I was jumping for joy. And then the pandemic happened. And then when we got geared up to come back, we called them up and we're like, okay, we're going to come back. We're going to start doing plays again. So here are our new dates. And they were like, no, you can't do it now. So no kidding. We had the rights. And then they said no. And I said, I don't understand. We had the contract. And they were like, yeah, well, sorry, no. So I had to go back to Michael. And I said, I don't know why, but they're denying us again. So he's like, oh, all right, hang on. I'll be right back, And he had to call her again. And I had to like copy all of these emails, correspondence with the bureaucracy is really silly sometimes, but it's in all businesses, I'm afraid. Or many businesses. And so I had to copy a string of emails where we were given the rights and I said, thank you. And here's the deposit and can't wait. And, all of this. And I copied and sent to Michael. Michael sent to Lisa. Lisa sent back and said, why are you not, and then they were like, okay, yeah, sorry, you can do it. And I was like, yay. And then came the really hard part, which was casting. And then I had an angel whisper in my ear and tell me all the right people to cast, and it was absolutely perfect. And there's the people here, and then a couple more that couldn't make it tonight. So they do say, I feel like I'm gonna cry, they do say that 80% of good directing is casting, and I think that is true. And for this particular miracle that we call Fun Home at City Lights in the summer of 2022, after a pandemic, or still in one actually, it's more than 80% because we had unbelievable circumstances of only having 8 rehearsals with the full cast before tech, which if you're not a theater person, you know, might not really fully appreciate how insane that is and how difficult that is. That would be hard for a straight play, but for a musical, that's unheard of. 8 rehearsals total with the full company for a musical. But they did it. We did it. I mean, like really, no compromising. Like it was unbelievable. It was, well, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now. It was not like, well, this is good for only 9 rehearsals. You never would have known. I mean, I'm picky. You can ask them how hard I was on them. But it's because of them and the level of talent and the level of commitment and how much they trusted me and listened to me and did everything I said. And then some. A lot of what they own, they brought to the table. Amazing. So this play, this musical, this story that we brought this summer is nothing short of an artistic miracle in my mind, and shows what artists are capable of together when they care and love the material and this craft and are determined to pull together and have something they want to share with the world and are determined to make that happen.
Amen. This is a fantastic cast. You can feel it. They've been getting terrific reviews. If you haven't seen it, please go look up the Mercury News review because it is a gorgeous review. I don't want actors maybe don't want to hear the reviews. If just put your hands in your ears and go la 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 la, but it's a fantastic review. And I think part of the amazingness of the show is that I know several of you actors are playing your dream roles. Raise your hand if you're playing a role in the show that you have wanted to play for a really long time. Yep. Let's start with you, Jessica. Tell us.
Well, first of all, apologies for my air conditioning, if that's making noise. And what Lisa was talking about actually kind of makes me want to revise my dream role statement, because yes, as soon as I saw this production, as soon as I saw this show for the first time, as soon as I saw Ring of Keys for the first time, I knew that I wanted to be in it. Absolute dream role, like immediately to the top of the bucket list. But that being said, you can't just do you can't just do this show anywhere. Knowing that City Lights was doing Fun Home made it like dream role of the bucket list on top of another bucket. Because I think there are a lot of companies that wouldn't be able to pull it off. Like the book is incredible. The script and score is really amazing. And there's a lot of freedom within it to do stuff and a lot of really sensitive storytelling. And I actually, Lisa, I can kind of see why the licensing company might even be more like protective over this one. Like if this was my baby, then I would be protective over it, because it really takes a lot to tell it right. And that's what I want to say for now.
I have a few nice pictures of Jessica I want to show that I don't think she's seen before. I love the lighting in this one. She just looks kind of magical. And then this is a really nice one, Jessica and Alexandra looking over the shoulder of your younger self. Alexandra, tell us about your dream role. I know you told me that they're also, and I'm just, for those of you who haven't seen it, check out City Lights YouTube, because there's some really nice selfie videos made by the actors where they talk about their connections to the show. And Alexandra's is particularly delightful. Tell us about this dream role that you're playing.
Yeah, so Fun Home was actually the first show I saw on Broadway when I was an itty bitty 8th grader, and I was like coming to terms with my sexuality and everything. So it like was life changing to see someone going through a similar journey to the one I was on stage. Maybe not the exact same, but then it's interesting because I love the role of medium Alison so much. I DM the person playing medium Alison on Instagram, like, hey, this changed my life. You were amazing. And they didn't respond because like Broadway role, duh, kind of busy. But a couple, like a week ago or something, I got a DM from an audience member who came to see it, who was like, thank you so much. Like, you did such a great job. And that was just so cool to see it. But yeah, so I have loved this role since 8th grade, and I've always wanted to play it. And I kind of guess they hinted at it in the 2019 or 2020 season announcement, and I was like, oh my god. And then it got canceled, and I was like heartbroken, but then it came back. And I go to school, I'm a college student, so I go to school in LA, so I sent in auditions and then like flew up for a callback because I was like, this has to be it. Like, and I've been wanting to work with City Lights for a while, like real long time. So it was just like all of the stars aligned and life is good.
You're so cheerful. I just love your energy. It makes me so happy. If you haven't seen the show yet, just bear in mind that changing my major, I find one of the most joyous songs in musical theater. And I'm not going to say any more about it if you haven't seen the show, but it's just pure joy. I just glow just even thinking about it. It's so beautiful. And Mike, I know you've wanted to play Bruce for a long time. This has been a big role for you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up repeating some of the stuff I said in the YouTube video, but
That's
whatever.
okay.
And like Alexandra, I saw like the teaser of that season announcement, and I figured out the clues. I'm like, oh, that's Fun Home. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, that's Fun Home. Someone's doing Fun Home. I also saw it in New York, and just immediately. Um, I loved everything about the show, the theatricality, the beautiful score, the wonderful story. Just Bruce spoke to me so much. He is, he's a really tragic figure, and I didn't want to, I wanted to play him, but I also didn't want to play him as like, oh God, this is so tragic, this is so sad, because it is. But also, I just felt like I really understood the things that he did, even the really crappy things that he does. And he does some terrible things. I say things to poor Penelope, who plays young Alison, and I leave the stage and I go, oh, that look on her face when I said that. Oh, I hurt her so bad. But I just really, really understood the choices he was making because I was raised in an environment where I wasn't allowed to be gay. It was bad and wrong, and so I was deeply closeted for a really, really, really long time. And tried to pursue the route of uh, getting married to a woman. Not really poorly. I was very bad at it. Um, but I thought, well, this is what I'm going to have to do. I'm just going to have to just deal with it because this is what's expected of me. So I totally get how Bruce felt trapped in that. And I thought this is a story that I want to be part of telling. Even though it doesn't end well for him, I thought it was important for people to understand. And I wanted to bring my perspective to that. So, God, it's been years of waiting for this production to happen and hoping that I would be able to audition for it and keeping my schedule absolutely 100% clear so that I would be able to do it when it was finally announced. And I'm I've been over the moon since we started rehearsals, since they made the offer. I've been absolutely over the moon and thrilled to be part of it and thrilled with how well it's turned out.
That's wonderful. I've got a nice photo of you too. I don't know if you've seen. I like the look on your face in this one and the William Morris wallpaper. And can we also say congratulations to you for real life? For like real life marriage?
You can. I got married while we were in rehearsals.
Yay! Congratulations. Thank you, Mike. That was lovely. Now, You may have noticed that we have two real life siblings here who also play siblings on stage. There is a lovely story about them in the Los Gatos Weekly Times. And Emily and Eli, I'm pretty sure this is your first time on the City Lights stage, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, I've been here for 8 years. If you were in a show before then, you were pretty small. So tell us a little bit about your theater background. Have you both worked together before? Is this your first show that you're in together?
We've been in one other show together, Seussical the Musical, which actually Caitlin directed.
Oh, nice. Caitlin plays our, I almost said Joan. Sorry, Helen. She plays Helen. Wonderful.
I've had 4 years of acting experience. I was in Sleeping Beauty Junior and Seussical Junior, and a couple plays that actually got canceled because of COVID.
Yeah, I also worked with Emily in Seussical, although it was very different because we were both in very different roles. It's really great to be able to work with a sibling, and it's practically, it's really good to be able to work together and be able to coordinate our act. And it's also really great, like brother-sister bonding and sibling bonding. And yeah, so it's been a wonderful, magical experience. This is my 6th play. So I've had about 5 years of acting experience. And it's a lot.
Oh, that's great. We're so happy to have you here. I got to show a couple of pictures that you'll like. Alicia's cheering. Yes, and there's the beautiful wig that Emily wears as John. And I've got another one, I think, in here of Eli. Let's see here. There we go. Nice solo moment. That is when they are doing a commercial for the family funeral home known as the Fun Home. Very nice. Which kind of leads me into the next thing I want to talk about, which was the music in the show. Oh, Lisa, yes.
There was just one really quick thing I wanted to add, if we're just kind of generally talking about the play itself. Wait, lower hand. Okay. One of the things that I suspected, but it has happened so much, and it just really fills my heart. And I don't know if I've had a chance to really tell the actors this, and so I'm happy to have this opportunity right now. That one of the things that I love about this play is that often when you're presenting a play, and I'm an actor, a director, and obviously a producer, there's like one solid theme usually, and so you're hoping to touch people that have experienced a certain thing in their life. But this one has multiple themes, and I've had so many people either come up to me or call me or email me or text me and say, I was just so moved by and related to so much and blown away by the father daughter issues, or not being able to come out and be my true self, or how confused I was growing up until I was able to be okay with who I really am. Like, there are multiple things in this 95-minute story that a lot of people can relate to. And I love that so much about this piece, especially being a musical. Often musicals, you have an awesome scene and then you stop and sing, and then a scene and then you stop and sing. But this musical, the musical's amazing, when I know you're about to just talk about that, but you could remove it and still speak those lyrics and the story will forward, which is also something that I look at. Like, does the music forward the storytelling, or are we stopping for just to sing and entertain? But I had a friend say to me, who who is gay, but could not express that as a teenager. A very religious family in a part of the country, not okay, in a family, not okay. And he said to me, honestly, I've never told you this before, Lisa, but I had thoughts of, okay, well, I guess I will fake it till I make it, get married, have some kids, and at some point, I will just need to step away and take my own life. And I was like, what? Uh, 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 I mean, I didn't even know what to say. And he said, and then it took me a long time to realize that I deserved more than that from my own life. But I didn't realize that when he saw this play, it was going to bring that up, and that he felt like he needed to share that with me. And that was like something that I didn't know was going to come from this, putting this story on the stage. And I mean, I did expect people to say, I feel, my journey, I feel validated, now for how confusing it was for me. And then for me, I had big issues with my father, who died, like 10 days or something before my 19th birthday, just like Alison Bechdel's. But it's just shocking to me how many themes there are that can touch so many different people. And I just think that's amazing about this script. That's all. I just wanted to add that.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, so many emotions that the script brings up. From a marketing standpoint, it's a little bit of a difficult show to market, because you don't want it to sound like it's just about she lost her father. There's so many levels. There's so many emotions. And I'm just going to embarrass you for a minute, but I think as a director, you excel in handling those tonal shifts, where they can be extremely difficult, where the show is moving from it's funny, and then suddenly it's dark, and things kind of sweep in, and the scenes shift, and it's just handled all so smoothly, and it's just so real. Yeah, being one of the audience members who just sobbed during the show. I think Mike said to me at opening night, "Oh, Becky, did you hear someone gasp at this point in the audience?" I was like, "Yeah, that was me. I gasped." I've seen the show. But yeah, Lisa, I wanted to talk about the music a little bit, because it's this wonderful mix of styles. You have like 70s pop, and you've got classical, and I'm not sure who wants to jump in and talk about what you love about this music, but we haven't really heard from you, Alycia, yet. Do you want to talk about what you love about the music in the show? Because
Well,
Alycia has been on our stage in The Heights and many other shows, so they've done a real variety. So,
I have. I don't know if I'm the best person to speak on it, because I'm only in like 2 songs, but I have to just say, I mean, all the music in the show is absolutely incredible, and it does such a great job of storytelling, and it's so deep and so meaningful and so beautiful. But I have to highlight one of my favorite shows in the song. It's Come to the Fun Home. It's the kids. They absolutely kill it every night. Me and Alexandra are waiting for our entrance. We're dancing, or I don't know if you know this, Eli and Emily, but we're totally dancing to the music. It's so fun. It's because it's got a funky bass line. The kids are absolutely just slaying it. They're amazing. So that's probably honestly my favorite song in the show. I mean, all the songs are incredible, but it's nice to just get a moment of, because even, I mean, I don't want to do any spoilers or anything, but even Raincoat of Love, it's a cheerful song, but it's happening at kind of a tense moment in the show. I mean, Come to the Fun Home is just an absolute blast, and it's one of my favorite moments that we get to have.
oh yeah, and speaking of the raincoat, I might have a photo.
Oh,
Yep. And how about a shout out to our wonderful costume designer, Melissa Sanchez? Yeah. Those dresses. And the boots. I love the boots. And while we were talking to Alycia has the honor of having been in 3 shows in our reopening season. They have just been all over the place. Bam. There's Alycia in Coded, and Agatha Christie's The Hollow. and now here as the wonderful sassy Joan. So we are thrilled to have you with us, and also Alycia was in the Heights in 2018. So
City Lights, I will say this, they make it really hard to work anywhere else. I absolutely love this theater. They feel so safe. It feels like home. So why wouldn't I keep coming back if they'll have me?
we're happy to have you. I have like a million questions. I could just talk to you guys all night, but now Mike is going to take it away. Go, Mike.
I raised my hand. I just wanted to say, while we're still on the subject of the music, Janine Tesori, who wrote the music for Fun Home, is one of my favorite composers, I think, these days, because she is an absolute chameleon. She did Fun Home. She did the new parts of Thoroughly Modern Millie. She did Violet. I'm forgetting something, but you can't pin her down. You don't hear a song and think, oh, that's a Janine Tesori song. That sounds just like everything else Janine Tesori has ever done. She totally changes her style to fit the specific circumstances of the Shrek. Thank you, Alexandra. Yeah, because they're all so different, and they all fit perfectly the setting and the type of show that is being done, and it's just an amazing talent. And I don't know how she does it.
On that note,
First Jessica, then Alexandra.
well, I think Alexandra and I came to the Shrek thought at the same moment. But I was describing one of the things that I love about this show, the music in this show, is the finale, which is a trio between me, adult Alison, medium Alison, and small Alison, because it is a trio of 3 female voices. I always love that. I just think it's so beautiful all the time. And I was explaining to someone that it was 3 versions of the same character singing it together. And they were like, wow, that's really cool. I wonder if that's ever been done before. And I was like, I don't know. And then I realized in Shrek they do, which is Janine Tesori again. So that just tickled me. But the thing I love most about the music in this show is that adult Alison is a true alto. I just want to live down there, and I love it. And more altos, please.
Yeah, you and I talked about that, Jessica, how we have heard, we have seen Jessica do more like, I want to say like classic old Broadway kind of musicals. I mean, and to see and hear you in your head voice, and to hear this gorgeous lower register, it's like, ooh, like that's beautiful. Yep, amen. Lots of amens in the chat. Yep. Alexandra, was there something you wanted to add, or were you going to say exactly what?
Yeah, no, my favorite song in the whole piece is Edges. And I actually, for one of my, I took a queer theater class in college, and I wrote a whole essay on the musical symbolism within Edges, and how the key changes itself are super symbolic and super important. So like everything in this show has been so thought out to a T, and it's just like, it's so well done and crafted musically that like it's also good. It's very symbolic and great.
So good.
You know, one of the things that I look for when I'm reading plays, and I read hundreds of plays, are what I call callbacks. Like let's say that somebody is oranges in The Godfather. Like oranges are a thing that keep coming back. Like there's, a bowl of oranges here, and so if a playwright knows how to slip in a phrase, a theme, a word that comes back, and it's, to me, that's a thing. I love it. But in this, it's musical, and I was like, oh, this is so good. Like when Penelope stands there and sings Maybe Not Right Now about changing her clothes, after you've already heard the mom sing Maybe Not Right Now, I'm not going to go into the study, when her husband is in there with the gardener. I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold. Like this is like artistically in the music and the lyrics. the artistically, the script and score call back themes musically and in the lyrics, and it's brilliant. And then how it all comes together in the finale with middle Alison singing the lyrics that actually adult Alison sang in the car, and how they're all singing about flying. And yeah, I mean, such amazing writing. And the other thing about the music is that part of our job as artists is to make it look easy, and it's not. This music is hard, and these actors had to work really hard. And it isn't just like, I got your horse right here, his name is Paul Revere. It's not that. and, and those notes were hard, and the rhythms were hard, and singing together, it all of like that. One of my favorites is when they're all in the different rooms singing the different things at the same time. And Samuel Cisneros is an amazing musical director. Amazing. His musicality, he's so talented, and he's got great ideas, and he knows music. I think he's got perfect pitch, and he's very has high standards, but is also very gentle. And in the way that to me, the way that people talk to each other is very important. The energy in the room is very important. How we bring the best out of each other is very important, and yet still expecting a lot from each other is very important. And Sam has that. And that's why I'm like, I want to work with Sam all the time, because he has that. He's chill and he's nurturing, but he still expects everyone to work really hard and bring their A game and work on things outside of rehearsal and all of that. And everybody did. But this music is very challenging, is not easy. Another favorite moment of mine is Mike, when you go from talking into singing at the beginning of Edges, like my insides like are on my outside. When you're Dear Al, and then you all of a sudden you're talking and then you're singing. Like I feel like so many times during this, and how many times have I seen it? I feel like a little faint in moments of this play. Like I start to feel lightheaded, and that's one of those moments. And the other thing that blows me away too is Jessica interacting with the action. And I have to say, I've seen the show 4 different productions now, not the Broadway one, but I've never seen that. I feel like there are things that we did in our production that I did not see in other productions, like how much interaction the adult Alison has with her own memories. And there are things that you've discovered, Jessica. Like I felt like I gave you permission. We worked together to establish a certain something, and then you took that and went with it. And you have found some moments and like sort of understood where that might be too much, and take the focus, and this is the right time to do it, and this is where I shall protect myself, my younger self, and this is and you have moments where I start to feel a little faint. It's really magical.
I've never said this, and I've never told Jessica this, but in the party dress scene, when I start to say, every other girl at this party is going to be wearing her prettiest dress, and you want to put on what, blah 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 blah. And I see Jessica run across the stage with her arms spread out to try and protect her young self from what I'm saying. And it just blows me away every single time. And I can't react to it or it's like I can't pretend that I saw it, but I do see it. And it just, somewhere in the back of my brain, just like, oh my God, that's such an amazing moment.
Yeah, there are a lot of those that all of you are so great at not looking at Jessica. And that's another reason why that moment, when we do get to look, it is so powerful too.
Yeah, in that Mercury News review, Jessica, plug your ears if you don't want to hear, but it does say she's the heartbeat of the show, and it's so true. It's really lovely. I also want to give a shout out to my favorite song in the show. Caitlin Papp could not be here tonight, but she sings Days and Days, and it will shatter your heart. Absolutely shatter it. And her voice is so, so beautiful. So, sorry, Caitlin couldn't be here tonight, but we all know how much we love her. Those of you who are watching quietly, I just want to see, oh, 1 second, Lisa, I just want to make sure if anybody wants to ask a question, I have hogged the questioning spotlight. So if anybody wants to type a question in or raise their hand, please do, anyone who's watching. But until then, go Alycia, you're on this side. Go.
Even though Caitlin is not here, I just want to shout her out for not only being absolutely incredible on stage, giving us beautiful vocals, beautiful, acting. She's also like kind of our backstage mom. She's always there to help with a costume, to help with a wig, whatever you need snacks, you need anything. Caitlin is there, and she's just really been there for everybody backstage, and it's an absolute pleasure to work with her. So I just wanted to shout her out because she's just a lovely human being.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If anyone has any questions, feel free to jump them in, throw them in. I was writing back to Carol in the chat. Carol says, Helen is a dream role for you, Becky. And I was trying to say from your lips to God's ears, but I typed it wrong. So yeah, that's my, if I ever get back on stage again, that's the part I want. There, you all heard it now. Yes, and Penelope, of course, and Arturo are just absolutely so, so wonderful. I'm sorry they couldn't be here. Just absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. Well, I guess I'll throw in another question because I don't hear any other ones. I got a bunch of them written down. Oh, Jessica. Oh, yes, Sam, the music director. That's Samuel Cisneros. And he has worked with us before in other shows, and he's just fantastic. We just love him. The other music director who Lisa mentioned did not work on this show, Katie Coleman. She's been on the next stage before. She's in New York, and she is just fantastic. We just love her.
She just got a job on a National Six tour.
Oh, terrific.
I know.
Wow.
Rehearsals start Wednesday.
Yay, Katie. Carol wants to know about other dream roles for you folks. Any actor, or Lisa, who is also an actor, other dream roles you want to throw out there into the universe while we're at it?
I'm going to be real honest that after this show, it's going to be hard to do another show. I've talked about this a little before, but this show and the characters that are in it and the way they are presented is just completely different from any other show that I've been in. I'm showing a completely different side of myself on stage, both from an identity perspective and also from artistically doing things that I haven't had to do before. And it, I've also had a lot of luck and privilege in the past to play a lot of really great roles. So honestly, I'm trying to soak this up as much as I can because I know there isn't going to be something like this for a long time. It hasn't been written yet.
Maybe it's being written right now.
Is it an alto?
I don't know. Lisa's nodding. Yes, yes. How about Eli and Emily? Do you have roles you'd love to play, shows you'd love to do you haven't done yet?
I think dream show Mary Poppins. I really like that show. I watched the movie when I was young, and it's just whimsical and fun. And any role, I think, would be fun in that. But this was a dream show that I didn't even know I had. And it's been a lot of fun.
I think I can agree with him there. I think School of Rock, I recently watched that, and I thought it was fun. And I also think it'd be really cool to be in Parent Trap, although I'm not sure if that is even a performance.
Nice. Were the two of you familiar with Fun Home before this?
No, I had never heard of it before.
No.
It's a dream show you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good tribute. I love it. Something else I wanted to ask was, Jessica, I wasn't sure, you've been in many shows, Les Mis and Chicago, and a lot of the big musicals. Is this the first time you've played a character who is the alter ego of a real person? And what has the experience been like there? Because I think your character, Jessica, was in Silent Sky here at City Lights in 2019, but I think that was a fictional, yes, fabulous show. I think that was a fictional character.
Yes, Margaret was made up in Silent Sky. I mean, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but yeah, I think so. So that's another thing that's weird. Not weird, that's new.
Is it something you thought about during rehearsal that you felt like you had to do a living, real person justice in a way?
Well, it was never suggested to me, nor did I try to like do an impression or any of that. It was more like seeing it for the first time and seeing a picture of someone playing Alison Bechdel was like, I want to do that because I saw myself. I just forgot what the question was. Oh, but having so much, I have like a whole pile of books in here by Alison Bechdel. There's so much rich material because she's written so much. And then also the show, like sometimes you might gripe about being called to every rehearsal, but not for this show, because anytime anything was happening on stage, it was literally character research for me. So getting to watch small and medium Alison, and then the parents and the other siblings and Joan, getting to watch everyone be themselves on stage was all research for me. And there was so much to pull from, so much richness, and it's just been a blast the whole time.
I think one of my favorite moments was outside the Gay Student Union when medium Alison is just embarrassing herself terribly in front of Joan, and the way Jessica reacts is just all cringy, and it's so real. We've all been a teenager and said the wrong thing. Yes, it's so relatable. I just love those parts. I also love the way Joan says, "That's a powerful book." I love that line delivery so much. It's just there's so much happening in that moment. It's super cool. Are there topics that I haven't brought up that any of you would like to bring up and talk about? Mike is holding his heart. Oh, maybe I just want to sit there and just enjoy being in the room with each other. I know. Well, I wanted to ask a little bit about the technical stuff too, about putting on a musical for the first time in 3 years and doing it during COVID. I seem to remember at the first rehearsal, Lisa was talking about like just safety measures on how to deal with vocal rehearsals and stuff. What were some of the things? Can you tell folks what it was like rehearsing a musical for the first time and during this lovely situation that we call a pandemic?
It's so weird. This pandemic has been going on for so long. And, if you don't do what you do all the time, it's impossible to remember everything that you do when you do it all the time. I've been in this job for 21 years and in this career for, I don't know, 40. All right, maybe not 40. I mean, I was in high school. I did the high school musicals. But a long time. I've been doing this a long time. But if you don't do it with your body and your muscles for 18 months, it's impossible to remember everything. So I mean, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I was literally in rehearsal going, oh my God, like, wait, masks, they have to sing. Like, wait, we haven't talked about this. I pulled Sam over and wait, we have to ask the actors, what can we just like go to different places in the theater? Like they're gonna pass out, like sucking in their own carbon dioxide. I mean, I didn't know what to do. And I hadn't really thought it through. It was the first musical after COVID and with AB5, which I don't know if any of you are familiar with what that means, but it's paying musicians through our payroll system, which is like adding a whole bunch of folks. Let's just logistically, administratively, more to handle. So it was just a lot. And then I don't know if I should even tell you this, but there's like other weird things that happened. Like we hadn't used all of the speakers in a long time. So we get into tech. Should I even say this? Everybody's like, don't. Oh, well, I'm very honest.
You might
I'm
get
very
judged as
honest.
marketing director.
I know. Sorry. Alycia turned off the camera. They're like, what are you doing? You're crazy, Lisa.
I don't actually know what you're going to say, so I don't know if the marketing director would be mad.
Well, I mean, it's life, it's like life. I know.
Robin says the
All right.
story tell all.
Yeah, I will. We had so many challenges. Again, that's why I feel like this show is a miracle. But we get into tech. So tech is like the beautiful weekend that I personally adore, where you take all the work that the actor and the directors and the musical director and the assistant director and choreographer have done. And then you get in the same room with all of the beautiful work that the designers have done. So they've been working on their own with lighting cues and sound cues and mixing and this, that, and the other thing, and the set, and like people are working but separately. And tech rehearsals are fantastic because it's when you put it all together. And that's one of the reasons why I hate the term Hell Week. Like, what? Why are you calling it that? It's actually beautiful. It's actually when all the artists are like mixing it together. It's amazing. Please don't call it hell. Like, what? And we get to that tech, and all of a sudden we don't own our own body mic. So we went through this whole rental process and all of that. And trying to protect my artists by saying, let's not load them up with everything at the same time. It was very thought through, like, costumes this hour and body mics that hour and this musician here and live musicians there. And, I'm really trying to think it through so that we don't freak everybody out. And I don't know if you've caught this, but I'm pushy but I'm thoughtful. I demand a lot, but I'm also very thoughtful. And all of a sudden I'm like, why can't I hear anything coming out of any of the speakers besides the center cluster? Like, we have speakers in the center cluster, which are, like above the stage facing the audience. But we also have speakers around the sides on what we call the passerelle along the sides. And all of this design went into where the voices come out of and where the mix of the musicians and where that comes out of. And like, it was all like hours worked through. And I said, I don't understand why I can't hear anything from these speakers over here. And so my sound engineer, Dan, who's a sweetie, says, we didn't want to tell you. And I'm like, what do you mean? What? You have to tell me now? We're in tech. Like, there's an audience on Thursday. What's going on? And he goes, yeah, we haven't used those speakers in so long that rats ate through the cable. So, sorry, you're not going to hear anything out of those. We discovered it yesterday and didn't want to tell you. So we ordered new cables, and they're coming, and we're going to re-cable everything, but you can't hear anything out of those speakers until Tuesday. So I didn't want to tell any of the actors. So I was just like, it's going to sound better. You just have to trust me. Okay? Just trust me. You've been trusting me this long. Keep trusting me. And inside, I'm just like, first of all, yuck. Gross. Secondly, can anything else go wrong? Can anything else go wrong? You gotta keep your sense of humor. You just gotta keep plugging away. You just gotta keep saying this story needs to be told. These artists are amazing. I just need to keep supporting them. And I turn around to everybody and I'm like, I don't care what it costs. Just get what we need to get this show open. You know, I'm like, we did our work, just get the show open. I mean, it's so funny because we get to opening night and I have a couple of donors and stakeholders that say, you always look so happy. You always look so chill, like everything's going great. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Get out there and do the curtain speech and say, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened? Like, of course not. Of course I'm going to make it sound like everything's fantastic. But we go through so much to get to you know, to get to where we are. And it's my job to not tell you this, which I just did. I'm so sorry. but 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 it was against all odds, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. You know, by the time we got to even the first preview, that show was slamming. Like, and there wasn't anything that I would change. I mean, although Friday night I did say I you know, I have one more note. Like, I want to work this one thing one more time. I did go home some nights and I thought, am I being too hard on them? I know that I can be very, I know this about myself. Like, I know that I don't let things slide. Like, while I still am the one that is in charge of you all, I won't give up. Like, I won't let it go. Like, I won't just go, well, that's as good as it's going to get. I won't do that until opening. And then I'm like, now I let it go. But sometimes I would get home at like 1:00 in the morning and I would think to myself, I hope that I'm not pushing them too hard. I hope everybody still likes me. Like, you know, there's always a person behind the leader. And then, I would get insecure sometimes when I would get home. But then I would say, be quiet, because the most important thing is the outcome of this show, and you guys are the ones that are going to be doing it for 6 weeks, like, not me. So I wanted to give you the strongest base I possibly could, you know, and then step away. But yeah, it was a lot of craziness.
Okay, in the chat, Dan Hill, who was a Next Stage regular, thank you very much, Dan. He said, these are the stories we come to the next stage for. Yep, yep. It's right out there with the story about Lisa going on stage with the curlers in her hair, which is one of my favorites.
I think speaking of rats, though, when we were talking about COVID, we need to talk about our rapid antigen tests. Because one of the things, and I want all of our audiences to know this, is that everyone involved in this show has been taking COVID tests every 72 hours. We are determined to stay safe for ourselves, but also stay safe for our audiences, make sure that we can actually continue to do the show until closing. Um, and I'm so happy to have been involved in a theater company that was taking this really seriously and had a plan from the beginning to keep everyone safe and to make sure that we were, you know, not spreading anything around. So it's been kind of a pain in the butt, but I will continue to take COVID tests until this thing closes to make sure that we can keep doing it safely for everybody.
You all have very tough noses now because you're testing so often. Yeah, and it's a good point, Mike. And City Lights is a fully vaccinated company, and also anyone who works in the building, we test every 72 hours too. I usually work remotely, but when I came in Tech Week, I was like, okay, give me the test. Here's my nose. Yeah.
Also, I saw Alycia holding it up, but
Yes.
Alycia took this 1,000th rapid antigen COVID test at City Lights and got a like really cute rat figurine that they make me look at before every performance.
It's funny because I'm actually a rat enthusiast. Like, that's not a joke. I have a rat tattoo. I've got some rat art back there. Like, I've always loved rats. So it worked out really perfectly. But Ron has been super on top of making sure he's sending that email out every 72 hours. And it makes the whole experience feel so much safer. So I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah. That's Ron Gasparnetti. He is our scenic designer, our production manager, and our COVID compliance officer. Thank you all for all the work you've done to help keep us safe. Everyone is so careful at this company. Yeah. Lisa said, I tested every day while we were in rehearsal so the cast would feel safe around me. Yes, you did. Seems like every time I saw you, you would have tested your nose. I shouldn't have said that. That was weird. Anyway. Oh, you guys are wonderful. Anybody else have any questions for our wonderful artists? Alycia loves the dead mouse. Yes, that is a great moment in the show, the dead mouse. And again, I think everyone here has seen the show, but when Penelope says, "Can I have it?" It's just awesome. Artists, do you have anything else you want to add or reassure Lisa that you love her or tell her how much you
I want to do one more shout out because there's somebody who has been mentioned, and Noelle Gibbs, our choreographer. There's only like 2 songs that actually require choreography, but her hand is in everything. She had such a keen eye for the movement and the relationships and the staging, and really helped to make the show as good as it is. And so, yay, Noelle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I actually pulled her. I said, I think I'm just going to call you assistant director. So that's what she is in the program. Yeah, she's all over the place. Noelle's very talented.
And a shout out to Karen Leonard, who was here in the Zoom room tonight.
Karen!
Designer, just killing it on the props because there are a lot of things in the show to keep track of.
Thank you very
Karen.
much. Thank you.
And you've seen Karen on the next stage before. She did props for the Hollow and Native Gardens. And am I missing something? I don't know. You do a lot.
Via gone.
Yes, Via Gone. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, that's right.
Via
The French fries.
Yeah. Yes, the French fries. The whole thing.
I love those fries. Yeah. Karen is one of the hardest working people in showbiz, definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Oh.
And Alycia points out, I was always too tempted by those cucumber sandwiches in the Hollow. When Karen was on the next stage, she demonstrated how she made those prop cucumber sandwiches. I'll send you the link. It's pretty awesome.
Yes, my cucumber.
Ah!
Don't you want to eat those? Those look so refreshing.
It was a lot of fun watching Karen make them too. Yeah, even with the little snippy fake chives in there, isn't that? Or no, dill, little.
Oh,
dill.
the deal, yeah. The deal, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about how you can have these details that even the audience can't even see them, but they're there, and you know that they're there, and that is true with so many designers. It just and how about a shout out to Rhone? Oh my God, our wonderful scenic designer. Oh, right down to the William Morris wallpaper on the walls. I did a little video about all the different things that Mike as Bruce references. What is it? The Hepplewhite chairs and all the different things, and you can see many of them on the set. Emily and Eli, hands up. Oh, what's that?
I just wanted to say I appreciate everyone for this experience. I was kind of nervous when I came into the show, and it's been a really wonderful experience.
Thank you. And how about a shout out to your mom too? Erin. Hi, Erin. Yes, we saw Erin on our couch in the lobby a lot, and it was always fun to talk to her. Oh, you guys, this is such a good show. Runs through August 21st. We also have a couple of Saturday matinees that we've added. We don't usually do Saturday matinees. There's one this weekend. So if you've seen it, and if you're not seeing it again, tell your friends to see it, because that works out. Thank you all so much for being on tonight. The next stage comes back in early September. It's going to be guest hosted by Carol and Yvette from our staff, and they will be talking about the Lights Up Festival of New Plays, which is a podcast series on City Lights podcast channel Filament. So stay tuned. We'll have the details on that soon. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Congratulations on a fantastic show. I wish I could see it again, but I think about it all the time, and Jessica has a cat. Hello, Cat. Thank you for being here, Cat. And Mike has a cat. Anybody else? No? Alycia?
I don't know where he is. He's hiding somewhere.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. Talk to you all soon and break a leg for this weekend. Bye-bye.